Okay, well this is another video. This is the last one I'm going to demonstrate, obviously of running different programs. You saw in the last video I loaded in a couple of little silly little game demos that I've done, which I developed on the tester, and I'll show you that in another video after these. However, there's one more file I can load in for this. This one is an Omni Phoenix game which runs on a converted Galaxian effectively. Omni did like plug-in cartridge type things like CVS, etc. And what I did was I downloaded the code off the game cartridge using the tester, and I've saved it as a bin file. So now I can load it into this Galaxian board, which I have done. You can see I've got the file set to Omni Phoenix 4000, which is the size of the file, and it should then run. So if I type run, you can see on the screen. Now unfortunately for this one, it does require the graphics ROMs for the game, and Omni Phoenix uses 8K of graphics ROMs, which is 42116 or 2716 EPROMs, which is 2 more than a standard Galaxian. So unfortunately this is running on a Galaxian graphics ROM set, so you can see the graphics are not right, but you get the gist of it. It is coming up with Phoenix. You can see the sort of the outline of the Phoenix game, but the code is running, as you can see on it. The only thing is the screen's full of zeros, etc. But you can see it's pretty much, you can get the idea of it. It is Phoenix if you get the graphics all right on it. So that's another program that I've loaded into the emulator, and it's running it. And you can see there's no program codes ROMs at all. So that really demonstrates the emulator, and what you can do a little bit with it. So you can actually load up your game code, store it in it, and then run it on the board you're working on. Now one thing I'm going to show you quickly is I'm going to actually stop the game. So I'll just type stop, and it will stop. And I'm going to disturb it by turning off the power and then turning the power back on. Unfortunately my TV doesn't sync, so I'll just do this, which is a nuisance. It's down to the TV, but we'll have to sync it again so that it comes up with the screen. But the emulator is powered off the board that you're testing, not the tester. So when I disturbed the power, I turned the power off to the board, the emulator powered down at the same time. But remember, this RAM actually has backup in it. It's got a battery on it. So if I type in reset and then run, the game has come back again. I haven't loaded it in the game code yet again. It's just the same. So it's stored it in the RAM. You can see, there you go, Omni. And that's obviously the Phoenix game again. So it stores the game code in the RAM, and it's got a battery backup on it, so you can disturb the power. You could even unplug the emulator from the board. You can go and do some work on the board, say unsolder a chip, what you want to do, and then plug it all back up again, and the game code should be still in the RAM, so you won't have to load it again. If you have the emulator running when you turn the power off, sometimes it will get corrupted on this breadboard version, but on the PCB version it shouldn't do, because the PCB version will have a switch that you can write protect the RAM. So if you load your code in, flip the switch, then the RAM effectively will become a ROM, and there's no way it should get corrupted. Obviously this one hasn't got it, unfortunately, but the new one, when it's on a PCB, will be fine. So you can write protect it. When you actually run the emulator as well, when you're running actually code and it's running, the RAM on the emulator is forced into write protect mode, which means that the game or the code for the game or whatever can't write to the RAM of the emulator. So the emulator program is safe. So you can't write to it. So if you write any program and run on it, you can't use the emulator RAM to store stuff in. It won't allow it, because it will be write protected as soon as it runs. As soon as you stop the emulator, the RAM becomes write enabled again, so you can actually write to it, and you can read it as well. So whatever code you have in the RAM, you can actually save it as a bin file as well. So you can read and write to it as you normally would do with RAM. So that really is a series of videos showing the emulator running different games on a board. The next video I'm going to do will be showing you the emulator in a different mode, which will do all this as usual, but it will also show you a few other tricks it can do as well. Like it will actually show you the game code, and it will allow you to step through the game code and let you see how it's running. And also you can then develop your own code on it. So I'll start doing a series of videos after this to show you that as well. Okay, thanks for watching.